So hopefully you enjoyed our last interview with Art. Here is part 2, where we discuss Art's restoration of a 300 SL Gullwing and some of the other interesting cars that he has come in contact with over the years. Now, what was your favorite of all the cars you restored? Which one was, in your opinion, like the most noteworthy or the most interesting?
Well, the most interesting car I did was a Gullwing, that I restored.
You did that, though, mostly by yourself.
I did that car over myself.
And what year was it?
This was done in 2015. And I did all the mechanical myself. The only thing I did not do was take the body off.
Well, yeah, that's a pain.
But I did all the restoration, engine, transmission, rear end, brakes, everything.
Right, not an easy job.
No.
No, not easy at all. When you were working with some of the people that you had worked with, did most of them bring their cars to you directly, or did you deal with their agents or people that helped them out? Like, I guess what I'm asking is, did you get to have direct contact with people like Nicholson and McQueen?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's how much these people actually cared about their cars. They weren't just like, oh, send the car over to Art and have him change the oil. It was like, I guess since Mr. McQueen hasn't been with us now for almost 40 years, maybe you could tell me an interesting story about him.
Well, we got a bunch of stories about Steve. He obviously was one of the best car drivers in the world. And this is when he was marrying Allie McGraw. He had bought her a 3.5 convertible. And he flies into our shop one day about 11 o'clock in the morning, jumps out of the car, and says, "Art, I've had it. You teach us how to drive. I can't do it," and walks away. So I just took her out. Obviously, she knew how to drive a car. It's just that she wasn't familiar with the particulars on that car. And so I went over everything with her, and we were just laughing about Steve and how he couldn't handle it. And and it's funny because we saw that quite a bit. It's very difficult for somebody in the family to teach somebody how to drive when they don't have the patience. That's true. Yep, or a gun.
Well, so now that I understand that you had such a close personal relationship with these people, and that they really basically depended on you. What do you think when you look at a Mercedes from that era? What does it represent to you?
Well, there's several things. One is the safety of the car. Number two, its quality. These are handmade cars, and it's something that is built to own for a lifetime. A lot of people considered it a hobby and their transportation. Mm-hmm. And they love their cars. And
so this is something, when you said they considered a hobby and transportation, so that's what people think today. They thought this 30 years ago.
Oh yeah, because when they didn't have anything to do, they would stay home and polish their cars and clean up all the chrome, and
That's very interesting, because things haven't changed much,
No.
They haven't changed much at all.
and we used to kid around and say, the car is the best mistress a guy can have.
It's true.
His wife doesn't get bothered with it. You don't have to buy the car jewelry. Mm-mm. And it doesn't lead to any marital problems.
Yes, that's right. That's true. That's true. You're right.
And now, being older model cars, you don't have to see the dealer. If you have older cars, you don't get stuck having to go to the dealer so their machines can talk to your car. Now you can just bring the car in, tell the mechanic what's wrong, go for a test drive.
Assuming the mechanic knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and we've always went for a drive when the car was being picked up with the owner.
To make sure that they were happy.
So make sure they were happy and that we took care of the problems that were bugging them.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Right, otherwise your shop doesn't stay in business.
Right.
What are you driving today? I know what he's driving today, but I just wanted to, you know.
It's kind of funny. For a long time, well, I've always been a coupe person. My favorite car was a 65 220 SE coupe that I had for over 30 years. But in my later years, I'm driving now a 560 SEC, a 1986, with a 300 SD turbo diesel engine in it from a 1984 car.
I've gotten to drive Art's car, and it's really interesting because the 617 turbo diesel engine works so well in the coupe. You know, once you get all the electrical stuff sorted out, it gets very good fuel economy. It gets, what do you get, 30 miles per gallon-ish?
Close to 30 miles a gallon, and I'm driving mostly 80 and 90 miles an hour, to work and back.
Yeah, this thing is it's not sitting around. The interesting thing is it has its original 2.47 to 1 rear axle ratio, which gives you an amazing highway gear. And really, honestly, having driven the car around town, it does not seem to hamper the car's acceleration much at low end.
No. And also, I had a pretty bad accident last year where I was sitting still and got hit by somebody who was doing approximately 55 to 60 miles an hour. And didn't even stop. There was no skid marks at all. And he plowed into me, and of course the back end crushed in, the fenders popped out in the back. But the way the car was designed with the spare tire on the floor, I really was not injured as much as if I was in some other kind of car.
Right, because in modern crappy cars, they don't really test for rear impacts, whereas Mercedes did.
Well, this other guy's car was just total. The airbags all popped out, and they just towed his car away, and that was it. And I was able to actually drive my car home,
yes,
which is a half a mile away, and eventually I got the car fixed because it was still fixable. There was no frame damage at all.
Yep, it did. It worked out pretty well.
And it runs today as good as it ran and looks before the accident.
Good. Yeah. Well, I definitely remember how hard it was to get your car fixed, but I'm glad we got it done. Anyway, Art, thank you so much for telling us your story.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's been fun. I've been doing this for over 50 years, and I still get excited when a car runs good.
Great. That's wonderful. All right. Well, guys, please remember to like, share, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications. Consider your support on Patreon. We always try to be there for our Patreon subscribers. So if you need us, we're here. And in the meantime, thank you so much for checking out our channel. Share your Mercedes story in the comments below. And just remember, a good mechanic is worth his weight in gold.
Thank you.
Amelia Island Concourse 2019. Hey guys and girls, if you're watching this and you want to hang out with Pierre Hedary and all of his awesome Mercedes friends, we're going to reconvene for our annual tradition of the Amelia Island Concourse Caravan. So basically we start off here in Titusville on Wednesday, the Wednesday before the Amelia Island festivities, and drive up there. Obviously there's no charge. We just want to bring the Mercedes community together that's coming in for this event. So we'll be there basically all 4 days, Wednesday night through Sunday. And if you want to join us, just email me at mbownersforlife@bellsouth.net, and we will be ready and waiting for you. So look forward to seeing all of you and your cars.